Hello. Hi, Tasha. We're so excited to have you
Hi.
on with us today.
Awesome. I'm so excited to be here. I can see all these beautiful faces. That's amazing. Can't
Yeah,
wait
you're gonna.
to get into it. You guys were already obviously meeting.
Yes, yeah. So we meet a little bit before and connect, and then we have you come on. And so I have been telling them, walking you up like the last few weeks. I'm like, she's coming on because we have so many women here who have been working on their opt-ins and lead magnets. And
Perfect.
so anybody here familiar with Lady Boss Studio? Do you know who they are? Yeah, if you've been around, she's been around
Hi,
for
Tarsha.
over 5 years. Yeah, I know you
Yes.
recognize several.
Recognize a couple of people. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Tasha, oh, and I totally lost your bio. I was like, it's right here. No, it's not right here. So,
Thanks, Chelsea. That's so awesome.
so
Wait, Lamira, did you hit record? Are we?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
we're
okay.
going.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah. I just didn't say that we were recording. So I just didn't do that time. So Tasha is a marketing expert and she is the founder and owner of Lady Boss Studio. And I knew about her from somebody else from years ago. And has it been 5 years or longer?
It's 6 this April.
That's what I didn't say because it said 5 in your bio. I'm like, no, I swear it's longer.
That was,
So
yeah.
yeah. And just like all of us, it's been fun to watch her over the last while, like learn and grow and expand. And as we talk about our service offer staircase, she's doing the same thing. And she's just amazing. And she's been doing a lot of teaching about lead magnets. And we use the term opt-in, but it's the same thing. It's a freebie, freemium. And so we're so excited to have her on today to share this with us. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Tasha.
Yay, awesome. So like I said before, I'm thrilled to be here. Right from the beginning, I didn't have the ability to jump on sales calls, talk to a lot of people. I had a 3-year-old and a newborn, so my time was not of the essence for me in the sense of being able to like offer it to anybody. So I really needed to grow my business from a very automated standpoint. And right from the get-go, it was, how can I create a lead magnet? How can I grow my email list and really focus on allowing things to work for me instead of feeling like I was always the one who had to do all of the work. So I have been kind of knee deep, super excited in list building and lead magnets from the very beginning. Our whole template journey, because it's been a journey. We've been selling templates for 6 years now. Started because everyone kept telling me when I started my VA business as a virtual assistant, when I started, kept telling me I needed a lead magnet, I needed an email list, and I was like, well, what is this lead magnet thing? Can I just get a template so I can just make this thing happen and move on with my life? And I couldn't find them anywhere. Again, this was 6 years ago. So I was like, I can't be the only business owner out there who needs a lead magnet and has no idea what they're doing. So let me deep dive into this, create the templates for it, and everything just kind of like skyrocketed from there. And those were the first templates that we really offered, were the lead magnet templates. So right from the get-go, we've been kind of super interested in list building and building the business from that point of view. Fast forward 6 years later, and now we focus on mainly websites, sales funnels, marketing, all that jazz. And I have a great time doing it. So I have a little presentation for you guys. I'm going to share my screen, if that's all right. And then I will open this up. All right. Can I see a thumbs up? Can you guys all see this okay? Awesome. Beautiful. Okay. I can see you guys in the bottom. Who here already has like a full-fledged lead magnet that's already active on their website in their business that they've kind of been running for a while? So we're all like a couple of you, but for the most part, we're still trying to figure that out, right? Awesome. Okay. Now for Diane, you said you have one working. I would love to know just in the chat, how confident you feel about it, how well you feel like it's working for you. I would love for you to just give me a little details there. It's working okay. So how many subscribers are you typically getting like on a weekly basis, let's say, out of curiosity?
I can talk way faster than I can
Go
type.
nuts.
So when I had somebody that was doing my marketing for me, and I was getting about 360 a month.
Okay.
But then there were some problems with anyway, they're not working for me anymore. So right
Got it.
now I'm getting a handful, maybe 10, 15 a month, not a whole
Okay.
lot right now.
Perfect.
I haven't been marketing it at all.
Okay. And that's, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit after, but that's one of the biggest things is we get all gung-ho, we finally create this lead magnet, and then we kind of forget it exists, and then we never talk about it again. And then we go really hard on trying to sell our services or get on those calls. We forget that that's like the most beautiful, perfect entry that we can offer to people that's valuable. That's the easiest sell possible. Because again, it's free, right? It's free value. So I just wanted to get an idea of sort of where everybody was at. So I'm glad now that I know that. So we're going to let's talk lead magnets, opt-ins, freebies, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. An opt-in bribe, giving something of value to your clients, potential clients, so they hand over their email address. So kind of, Lamar already kind of walked us through this a little bit, but CEO of Lady Boss Studio since 2017, founded Funnel Breezy, which is our all-in-one tech stack last year in 2022. Christian, wife, mom of 2 amazing little boys, they're 7 and 4, and we're moving from Canada to Portugal this summer to relocate and really live that beautiful entrepreneur freedom and laptop lifestyle that we all kind of started our businesses for. And then we all kind of forget as we get there, like why we did this in the first place. And most of the time it's so we could spend that extra time with family and we could do all those beautiful things like travel. And instead the business usually gets in the way. So we're really putting my money where my mouth is and really going full on with why I really did this in the first place. So we're relocating at the end of well, I guess not end, middle-ish of this year to Portugal. So as a side note, if during the chat, during the presentation, you have questions and you want to stop me and ask a question on that topic, go right ahead, put it in the chat. I will keep that over here. I love Portugal. That's where, oh, awesome. I'd love to hear more about that, Melissa. Okay, so your sales funnel, we're going to kind of back it up a little bit before we dive into the actual lead magnet itself. Lamire was talking about your, what I call a value ladder, essentially, right? Which is really looking at from low ticket all the way up to high ticket, what you're offering in the different buckets. I kind of want to back that up even one step further and just really look at the end of the day, your sales funnel, whether you're running an opt-in funnel, just your business ecosystem in general, right? It's a process of moving people from, I have no idea, right, who you are, to obviously at the bottom, which is them becoming a customer of yours, a client of yours, and going through that journey with you. And in most opt-in cases, you're going to have the most people in the awareness stage, like most people just getting to know who you are. And as they become leads and as they become prospects, and as you actually bring them on as a coaching client or bring them on for a one-on-one service, that's when they become the client, and that's where you make the sale. So obviously the sales funnel overarching for your business really does that sort of triangle funnel shape. And ideally, the more people we get up here, right, the more chance we have to have more down here based on the shape of the funnel. So about 96% of people who visit your website, right, are not ready to buy right then and there. So optimizing that journey from, hey, now they actually know who you are, to willingness to potentially pay you thousands of dollars for a coaching program, right? We need to optimize that, and we need a way to stay in touch with those people, because they're not just going to keep coming back to your website every single day to be like, oh, hey, I wonder what's new with this business owner today, right? They've got so many other things going on in their lives. So we really need to optimize that. And you can do that on autopilot using a sales funnel, right? And in this case, we're going to talk about an opt-in funnel. So we're going to look at your lead magnet and what that opt-in funnel actually looks like, because this is essentially what we're doing, right? We're attracting the highest amount of people over here with that lead magnet. They're becoming a lead. We're going to continue to nurture them and talk to them and get to know them, build that know, like, and trust factor. And then we're leading them to a sale. That's the entire point of a lead magnet, right? Is to bring them on that journey to get them to buy with you. And people will drop off at every stage. But that's, the better your lead magnet is, the more in alignment it is with the thing you're selling and the people you're attracting, the better you're going to do all the way down the line. Ooh, I'd love to answer that, Drusha. And I will after when we do Q&A if we have time. And if not, just send me an email, because I know you have my email and I'll tell you all about it. Okay, so key components of a successful sales funnel. So whether that's an actual, you're trying to sell them on, you're doing a big launch, you're trying to sell them on something right away, or even when we're looking at an opt-in. So a predetermined and aligned value ladder. Lemire, what was the word terminology you used for the value ladder?
We use a service staircase. So it looks
Thank
like
you. Exactly. So really looking at that beforehand, because if you don't know what you're going to sell and you don't know what those offers look like, it's going to be really hard to pick that lead magnet that's going to attract the right person, right? So predetermined and aligned value ladder or offer staircase, bringing in the right people at the top of the funnel. As we talked about, continuing to email nurture throughout the customer journey. That is, besides maybe like a Facebook group or a place where you can bring people where you're really inviting that two-way communication, your email list is the best place for you to build those relationships, for you to build those connections, for you to build that know, like, and trust factor. So continuing them on that journey, as opposed to just like, here's your lead magnet, maybe I'll email you in a year, right? Which I think we're all guilty of at some point. I know I was at the beginning, right? And then reviewing and monitoring the actual funnel itself, the stats and conversions along the way, right? A lead magnet really isn't a set it and forget it. You're going to get it right. And it's going to be the best thing you've ever created the first time around. It will evolve, right? You do need to pay attention to how well it's doing so that you can evolve it and make it better along the way. Okay, so in terms of like some really great top of funnel offers, so these are the offers where you're like bringing people into your business, right, that tend to do the best for you. Lead magnets and freebies, which is what we're going to talk about today. Low ticket front end offers, like $27 offers as an example. Low price to memberships or subscription where you can bring people in pretty easily. And then those one-time urgent offers that are, only available for a certain amount of time tend to do the best at this stage of the funnel where you're bringing in the most amount of people possible. I closed my chat. Okay, we're good. Okay. Now, so most of you guys already know this, our ladies already know this, but what is a lead magnet or opt-in, right? It's an item of value that your potential client is willing to trade their email address in exchange for. It's essentially a bribe, right? I'll give you this if you give me this. It is what it is. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, but that's exactly what it is. And it's essentially on you at that point to hold up your end of the bargain. If you say, to your child, go clean your bedroom, I'll give you a candy. I'm just making this up. They go clean their bedroom, but then you never give them the candy, the trust is gone, right? The next time you say, please go do this, they're not going to want to do it because you didn't come through on the bargain, on the bribe that you made with them. So really knowing that at the end of the day, it is in fact a bribe. And as the business owner, you really need to come through on that promise, come through on what you said you can give them, the tips, the tricks, the secrets, whatever it is, and actually come through, because otherwise, right from the get-go, that no, like, and trust factor is never going to happen. So why do we need an opt-in, right? Again, you probably know most of this, but we're going to just kind of dive into it. Obviously, it demonstrates your knowledge as the business owner, as the expert, right? Positions you as that expert, builds trust with your potential client on autopilot, and helps you build your email list with high-quality leads. There's nothing worse than having a really big list of people that want a whole bunch of different things, right? That have no intention of buying from you, because you've wasted your time, your money, your effort. And at the end of the day, when you're looking at, I have 1,000 people on my email list, if I try to sell something now based on industry conversion rates, I could probably sell to 10 of those people. But those people are all over the map, have no interest in buying from you. All of a sudden you have zero dependency on one of the biggest factors in you being able to make sustainable income in your business long-term. Okay, so a great opt-in provides a solution, offers immediate gratification, provides high value, and is available to use and to put into action quickly. And we're going to break that down a little bit. So 4 must-haves for your opt-in. So it's consumable and actionable in under 20 minutes. That's like the kind of goal that we set. Now, there is an asterisk there for a very specific reason, where if you are launching a freebie, launching an opt-in, and you don't have that next thing yet, you don't have that course, you don't have that coaching program, you don't have that next thing yet that you're ready to sell them into, sure, at that point, I mean, you want to do a mini course that's going to take them 2 weeks to consume, I'm 100% not against that. If, however, you're looking to have them go buy something right away, I would encourage you not to distract them by making them go do all this work for the next 3 weeks, and then potentially deterring them from wanting to go take that next step with you. It really should be consumable and actionable in a short amount of time. And that doesn't mean you need to skimp out on it or cheap out on it, but you want them to get that quick win. You want them to be able to take that one step forward. You want to be the person that got them that little bit further ahead so that they're willing to continue to let you help them get even further ahead faster if it's a one-on-one type of opportunity that you're trying to sell next. It considers how solution aware your audience is. I'm going to break that down a little bit. A lot of times we offer something that might be super specific, right? And we might say, hey, in order to get, so I'll use an example. I have a coach who teaches strength training for runners, okay? A lot of runners, if you're a marathon runner, you are in your head, you just want to get a shorter, faster time. That's all you want. You want to shave 2 minutes off your time. That's like the most important thing that you want. So if she comes out the gate with an opt-in of the 5 best strength training tips for runners, those runners might not yet be aware that strength training is the thing they actually need in order to get faster. There's an education piece that needs to happen. They're not out there necessarily. There might be a small group of them that already know strength training is the thing for them, but a lot of them are going to be Googling or searching or having conversations with people of, I need to get 2 minutes faster. I need to get under 40 minutes. I don't know how fast you run a marathon. Not my expertise, but I need to get under 40 minutes for the Boston Marathon that I'm going to be running, or the Chicago Marathon I'm going to be running. That's what they're Googling. They're not Googling yet what the best strength training exercises are. So if instead of the tips for strength training that she decides to launch as her lead magnet, she takes that one step further and says, hey, my audience actually isn't solution aware yet, that the strength training is the right thing, that the missing piece for them. Instead, I can go to the 3 tips that are going to help you run a faster marathon or help you shave 2 minutes off of your marathon time. And then the very first step I'm going to talk about is going to educate them on strength training and why it's the thing they're missing, right? So really looking at how aware are they that the thing that you're offering is the right answer for them? And do we need to step that back first so that we are opening up the awareness to a broader range of people so we can bring in more people, educate them to some degree with the lead magnet, and then allow them to continue down the funnel? Because if we're focusing on the person who's already aware of the strength training, we just made that bucket go from this to probably this, which we lost out on a massive opportunity based on the fact that we didn't just step that back one level. Does that make sense to everybody? Seeing some head shakes. Okay, perfect. It needs to be a direct lead into the offer you want to sell them into. So really looking at what's the either signature offer that I want people to buy, what's the thing I want to push the most, where do I want them to go, and does my lead magnet, is it that perfect attractor for the right person that's going to want to go and do this next thing for me? Is it too broad, too general, where I'm going to get people who might be interested in a whole bunch of things? Or can I look at the coaching package I'm trying to offer, look at what that person's trying to actually achieve, and then pick the right lead magnet that's that perfect attractor for the thing I'm trying to sell them right into? And of course, it's considered valuable to your audience, right? Okay, so a lead magnet, as we know, can have many forms. It can be an ebook, a workbook, a mini training, a step-by-step guide, templates, checklists. Under free trials, free consultations, free assessments, and audits, quizzes is also a great one as well. I put asterisks there because for the person to actually move forward with that piece, they already need to be convinced it's the right thing, right? If I'm going to go and pay and sign up for a free audit with you, or I'm going to go sign up for a free trial of your software, or I'm going to go sign up for a free consultation, I already have to be convinced that your solution is either one of the right answers for me or the right answer for me, as opposed to the broader ebook, mini training, step-by-step guide, quiz, whatever the case is, allows you again to open up that bucket of awareness, to bring in more people, and then use maybe I'm going to show you kind of like the steps in the lead magnet in a second, use that opportunity to educate, to convince them into the free consultation, into the free audit, into the free discovery call, whatever that next step is that you're trying to get them to do. So we can have these. It's not to say that they don't work. but you're marketing to a slightly different, more aware person when we're talking about the free trial, free consult, free audit, that type of thing. So just bear that in mind. Exactly. That's the biggest thing for me is like, what are they Googling, or what are they on Pinterest searching for, or what are they stressed about before they go to bed at night thinking, my goodness, why can't I just figure this thing out? Or what's the answer to this? Or like, what's plaguing them to the point of that's the thing that they're searching for specifically. And again, chances are it's 1 or 2 steps back from the thing you think they need. What are ones I don't recommend? It's hard to say because there's a million ways to make $1 million, right? There's no wrong answer unless it's unethical, of course, in like the world of online business and lead magnets. I'm not a super big fan of multiple day things. Do they work for people? Yes, 100% they do. This is an entire personal preference and just what I've seen with my clients in our business. The multiple day thing, I feel like can be a little fire hosey at times. So like too much information coming at once. And there's a good chunk of those people that might be too busy on day 2 to actually consume the content or follow the trainings. So then they're going to go and pay attention on actually day 4 when you're already trying to sell, but they're still back on day 2 because there's just so much for them to go through. So a lot of the multiple day things, challenges, workshops that span an extended period of time, can they work? Yes. But I find, again, for me, they can feel a little bit fire hosey and actually detract from the quick win, get them to take action, take that quick step, and then move on to the next thing. So again, they work, but it's just a personal preference we've developed. We try to go for the easiest thing first of like, what's that lead magnet we can get out there right away instead of telling you to go spend 5 weeks building this 3-day challenge or 5-day challenge. And then at the end of the day, we might actually lose 50% of those people because they're actually like overwhelmed and haven't had a chance to actually catch up yet. Whereas let's try the simpler thing, get it out right away, see our conversion rates, and maybe we never even need to do the next thing, right? Does that make sense, Lamira? Yes, exactly. Leave them wanting more, 100%. Okay, so here's like just a sample winning combination if you were doing a PDF style. Now I'm 100% all for doing a video training as well, assuming it's concise, because I think when people see your face, I think it really helps to build that know, like, and trust factor really fast. But if we're just going to like break this down visually, what would this PDF thing look like? You want to have a cover page, of course, more so for the fact that 1, it looks professional, and 2, it's going to make your mock-ups, aka the graphics, for when you're trying to sell the thing, look a lot better. The intro, how you help them, who you are, how you help them. 1 to 3 content pages max. Now, the format I've seen that has worked really well is like 3 secrets to, or 3 ways to. Secret 1, let me educate you a little bit on this and give you a chance to take action on it. Secret 2, let me educate you a little bit on this and then give you a chance to take action on it. There's nothing more satisfying to people than being able to like check that thing off and be like, I did it, I moved forward, like I finally moved past that hurdle or that thing I was trying to get through. So we've seen this work really well, whether it's explaining and then the take action page, or breaking those kind of chunks of content up of like educate, take action, educate, take action, etc. for the third one. And then of course your call to action page. So really being intentional about letting them know what that next thing is and making sure it's clickable from the PDF, so they don't have to go find the email or go back to your website to get to that next thing, making sure that that's clickable. Yes, exactly. Really like helping them. There's so much information out there, but if you can be the person that actually gets them to action on something, we're all so happy to consume content forever, right? We never feel like we're ready to actually do the thing and move forward with the thing. So if you end up being that person for them that actually gets them to take that step forward in action on something, right then and there, they are so much more likely to book that call with you, visit your sales page, check out the program, and get closer to taking that next step with you. Okay, so here are 3 just simple formulas that you can use, tweak, play around with if you're trying to figure out how do I, like, what should I name my lead magnet, okay? So number of steps to achieve whatever the result is they're looking for. And again, in a specific amount of time. People don't want to take a lot of time to do things. Nobody has time, right? That's the age-old issue. Nobody has time for anything. So letting them know how fast they can get that thing done in the next 20 minutes, in 2 days, in 5 days, whatever the thing is. And of course, you don't want to say how to achieve this result in the next, 360 days. Or you're gonna be like, I'm going to try to find something that helps me do this in like 10 days, right? So really like trying to bring down that time delay of when they can actually get that result or achieve that thing. Number of secrets to achieve whatever the outcome with that low effort and sacrifice. So again, that's like in under 5 minutes a day, without adding to your to-do list, without feeling like, okay, well, now I'm going to have to put time aside for the next month to get through this thing, right? Number of mistakes to avoid to achieve whatever that result is, again, in the specific amount of time. So just like 3 easy formulas that you can use when you are coming up with your lead magnet title. Move this guy here. Okay. So when we're looking at the basic lead magnet funnel of like what actually happens from an automated standpoint, from when the person signs up to when they actually get the thing we said they were going to get, right? You've got your organic or paid traffic or a mix of both, which is what we love. You've got your lead magnet opt-in page, and I'm going to show you a super simple sample of that in a minute. That leads into delivering the actual lead magnet. Now, that might be via email that you're delivering it, or it might be, if it's a video, it might be like right there on the next page that actually has the video of you teaching on the thing that you're teaching on. From that thank you page or lead magnet delivery page, you're going to have the option to either book a discovery call with you if you're trying to sell a one-on-one coaching package, right? And or sending them right to a sales page if you're trying to sell like a mini course or something that like, you can sell on autopilot that doesn't require you to hop on a call with every single person that you're trying to sell into it. Or you can have both. You can have the book a call and the sales call, sales page button. And then in the background, right, of all of this is where your email nurture sequence kicks in. So that's the delivery, the automated delivery of the emails that deliver the lead magnet itself, the PDF, the whatever, the worksheet, the whatever it is. And also a series of emails that follows that. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Series of emails that follows that, that's already pre-written, that helps the new lead get to know you as a business, get to know your story, but ultimately helps to support them in still achieving the thing they set out to do, right? So whatever that result was that they were trying to achieve, continuing to support that next thing they're trying to do in those automated emails. Okay, so have you guys already, I'd be just curious to know, started working through the tech piece of, I love the smile of Myra, the tech piece of like, how do we actually set all of these pieces up? Some have. Okay, perfect. All right, so here is a super basic example of an opt-in page. Can you go way beyond this with testimonials and all this other jazz? Yes, absolutely. But if you were like, I just need to get an opt-in page up and running, here are the must-haves that you need to have, and this is how simple it can literally be, okay? So catchy title that captures interest. Ideally, again, talks about the result that they're trying to go after, and then making sure that you're making it obvious how easy it's going to be for them to consume the content or get through and take action on the result that they're looking for. No distractions. So there's no header, no footer, no pop-ups, nothing else going on other than this is the only thing I want you to pay attention to right now. Okay, perfect. So I did the StoryBrand certification in 2020. So all of our website templates and everything are built off of the StoryBrand formula. The sign up form and button is above the fold. Do not make them scroll to find the button for them to be able to sign up. Again, will you still get signups? Yes. Will you get more signups if the either the button to click for the pop-up and or the field is right there and they can see it as soon as they open the page? You absolutely will. There's a mock-up and or picture showing them now what they're going to get. We're in the digital age. We know that, but make it feel as tangible as humanly possible for the person that's signing up. You will increase your opt-ins. When I was saying that like perfect lead magnet breakdown in terms of the thing itself with that cover page will get you further, especially when you have it in like the iPad mockup or just like the Pages mockup, whatever the case is. And reminds them that it's free. I can't tell you how many times people have a freebie and they send people to it and there's nowhere on the page that says that it's the free thing. And if they, like it's obvious to us because they can put their name and their email address, right? And they can just get it. We know that. But you need to remind them that this is a free thing they're signing up for. Because as soon as you ask people for information, there's an automatic bit of like angst in them of, I don't want to hand over my personal information, right? So really going the extra mile of free guide or free whatever it is, and then have the button specifically also saying, get the free thing, will also help you to increase the actual opt-in conversion rate as well. You 100% can, absolutely. So you can have the little, whatchamacallit, not CTA, notification, the text right underneath there. It says like, we do not sell your information. Absolutely. That is not a bad thing whatsoever. Probably will do you more good than bad. And important opt-in stats to consider. So once you start running your actual lead magnet, okay, and you're like, well, I don't know if this is doing well or not, right? So I don't know if the 10 people I had sign up this week, how well I'm actually doing. And you might be like, oh, I'm only getting 10 people, and that's fair, but we need to actually look at what your conversion rate is on your opt-in page, not the number of people who have actually signed up. Because if you only had 10 people look at your opt-in page, but you actually had 10 people sign up, and you're like, that's actually something to celebrate. So, you're not 100% conversion rate's not likely, but that's an incredible thing because you're doing really, really well. So really looking at, do I have a minimum conversion rate of 25%? How many people went to the page versus how many people signed up? Most email marketing softwares, ESPs, or funnel builder softwares will pull this for you automatically, but you can also do it if you're in Google Analytics, you're seeing how many people viewed versus how many people signed up on your like form for the week. A thing I just want to say on that is if until you've had 100, 200, 300 people look at your opt-in page, you do not know if it's going to perform well. You need a certain amount of people, a minimum 100 people, before you can say this, oh, this only converted at, 10%. It's crap. I need to make it better. We need a certain amount of people, right? Before we can say, like, can we rely on these numbers, right? The more people we've had to view the page, the better the data becomes. And the better we can make educated decisions in terms of whether we need to scrap it or just revamp it or start something altogether. If for the first 2 weeks of your lead magnet, you're having conversations with people that don't end up being your ideal client, but they still show up to the opt-in page, but don't sign up. And then the following 2 weeks, you actually connect with a group of people who are your perfect audience. And that ends up converting at, I don't know, 60%. We need to wait until we have enough of that data before we can make that decision. And then looking at opt-in signups versus your conversions on the next offer. So, okay, great. I had 100 people sign up for my lead magnet or my opt-in. That's wonderful. But how many of those people actually went and bought the next thing? Because you can get signups all day long and that's wonderful. But at the end of the day, we're running businesses, right? And it's not that we're out there trying to be greedy, but we have mortgages to pay for. We have things to pay for that require, as businesses, clients who pay us, right? So really looking at 2 months down the line, I had this opt-in, I was trying to sell people into this course or this coaching program. How many of those people actually went and did that thing? And that will highly depend on, like, I can't say, oh, you need a conversion rate of this at that point, because it depends whether you're selling them into a $97 course or a one-on-one $5,000 coaching package. Like, your conversion rates are going to be quite different, right? But you can even look at here, how many people signed up for the opt-in that booked a call with me, that actually went and booked that free discovery call or booked that free audit or book that free consultation. And from that point, you can look at, okay, what's your sales calls conversion, right? Like how many people did I talk to versus how many people signed up for the thing, and you can work on your sales calls. But really looking at, is this working to sell into the next thing that ideally I'm looking to sell them into? And then your nurture sequence open rates, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the nurture sequence. Ideally, your open rates are over 20%. Now, open rates are a little bit skewed these days, all in all, with the iOS update. Long story short, if you any of your clients that are on an Apple device, technically the device fake opens emails for you so that it skews the numbers, so you can't actually rely 100% on open rates like you used to in the past. Click-through rates are going to be your biggest. Like, they can't fake a click-through, right? If your client clicks through, they click through. If they don't, they don't. So that's going to be a much bigger and more beautiful rate for you to pay attention to. But if your open rates are lower than 20%, then we know that we need to do some optimizing in terms of either your email deliverability and or the actual emails themselves. And just so you guys know that I'm not just up here blowing smoke, this is the conversion rate on one of our lead magnets. So we work very, very hard to not just hit industry standard, but to like knock it out of the water. And we also run ads, like cold traffic ads to this on Facebook. So it's not like I'm sending my warm audience that already knows me to go sign up for this thing. This is entirely to cold traffic. Click-through rates, yes. And again, it'll depend on what that thing is you're trying to get them to click. If you're telling them to book a free call, your click-through rate is going to probably be a lot higher than if you're telling them to go view a sales page for an expensive program. So ideally, yes, I'd probably want a good 2%, but that will depend. And the biggest indicator for you as well is looking at, okay, what was the click-through rate in April? What was the click-through rate in May? What was the click-through rate in June? And developing your own benchmarks to say, am I getting better at this, or am I getting worse at this, right? Okay, so in terms of your thank you page, so that's they signed up for the lead magnet, they put their name in their email. This is the next thing that comes up right away, right? We hit them with the thank you page. So one, let them know that the freebie's on the way to their inbox, right? In most cases, unless you're doing a video training where you want that right there on the page, in most cases, I don't make the lead magnet available right there on the thank you page. I make them go to their inbox to have to get it. And we do that because if they don't even have to look at your emails the first time around to get the thing, the chance of them going and opening up your subsequent emails with all of the nurturing that you're going to be doing is slim to none. They're just going to let those things go right to their spam folder because Google's so good at that, or Gmail's so good at that, and they're never going to look at any of those emails from you. But if you make them have to go and find it the first time, chances are they're going to move to their inbox, and they're just a lot more likely to go and actually view your emails going forward. But one little trick that we do with all of our opt-ins is we have a PS, hit reply and let us know you got it. It's super important to us that you get the things you sign up for, and it's one of our values as a business. And the beauty with that is, one, they're replying to you, which opens dialogue, right? But two, it massively increases your email deliverability in terms of your domain reputation. When Google sees that people reply to your emails all the time, they say, oh, this person must be sending valuable content, right? So we're gonna try less to put them in the spam folder and try more to put them in the inbox, because people actually value they're not spamming people. Back on to the thank you page. Remind them of their pain points, right? And what pain points and or whatever the goal is they're trying to achieve. So again, saying, hey, while you're waiting, let's talk about the thing, because sometimes that email might take 3 minutes to arrive to their inbox. So let's further convince them to take that next thing, take that next step with us, right? So this topic is 100% my zone of genius and what I love to help whoever your audience is with, right? So just reaffirming you're the expert, you're the person who loves to help them with this thing. So if this sounds like you, inserting their pain points here of like how they're feeling, what they're dealing with, what they're trying to overcome. And then in this case, it's like book a free call with them, with the business owner, but really pushing the right away, right then and there, kind of catch them while they're hot type of situation where get them to click and book that call with you right away. Encourages them to take the next step, like I said. And then if you have testimonials and social proof, there's more on this page that they could scroll down to. But I wanted to show you this because it's above the fold right away that they can see, like the book a call is right there. If you have social proof, testimonials, any other information that will just help to build that authority for you while they're, again, right there on the page waiting for that lead magnet to come in, it's a beautiful place to put that, because they've just told you they're interested in you. It's like when you're dating your probably now spouse, you guys get to know each other, and then you have to wait 2 weeks before you can talk to them again, or before they text you again, right? Instead, let's keep that conversation going right then and there, right when you've just met. So including that, and again, on this actual template, if you scroll down, there's the place for social proof there. And okay, so let's talk a little bit about your email nurture sequence. Have you guys started writing those at all, Lamira?
Some have, some are,
Okay.
they're in different places. So some have, and some are getting there.
Getting there. Okay, perfect. So this will really depend on, I want to say 5 to 10. Ours goes 90 days because this is 6 years in. And at this point, I have enough content that I can repurpose it and use it, and it's great. 5 to 10 is a beautiful starting place because it allows you to go beyond the, hey, I'm Tasha, I love websites and funnels, nice to meet you. It allows you to storytell, and it allows you to continue to support them. So they signed up for the lead magnet not to get to know you, right? That's not, they're interested in their pain points and what's going on with them, and they want to fix that. So having the 5 to 10 emails puts you in a place where you don't have to overload them with emails that are, 3 books long per email. And then 2, think, okay, they signed up for this free thing because they're trying to get X. They're trying to figure this out. They're trying to find or move towards this specific solution. How can I further support that and give them tips, tricks, value around that thing beyond just the lead magnet itself? Can I remind them of one thing that's in the lead magnet and have that in an email to just further support the fact that this helps them, or the fact that they need to take the time to, I don't know, write out their action steps or whatever the lead magnet was telling them to do? How can I further support them so that they don't just feel like they got the lead magnet and now I'm going to talk about myself for the next 5 to 7 days and then hope that they want to work with me, right? We really try to make it as much about them as possible. Usually delivered 1 to 2 days apart. For the most part, we do 1 day. Not for the entire 90 days, because then people would never want to be on my email list ever again. But for those first 5 to 10 days, it's about 1 day apart. Some people, some business owners we work with are super adverse to emailing people every single day for a period of time. So we either test the 1 day and then test every 2 days and just see if there's any difference, because oftentimes you're more adverse to it than the actual people receiving the value are, right? But if they're super adverse to it, then we'll do every 2 days, and we'll kind of slowly ease the people in. We just don't want, we want to keep you top of mind and fresh in their minds and continuously offering support and showing up for them. So that's why the 1 day apart really kind of tends to do the best. Again, open rate over 20%, with clicks being the most important stat. And it gives them more information on you, your story, your qualifications, but the focus is still on them and how the story that you're telling supports them and what they're actually trying to achieve. Okay, ran through that really fast. That's me though, I'm a speed talker. That's the normal way of things. So Lamira, do you want to open it up and just see if anyone has questions? Or I feel like the last time we did this was so long ago that
I have a question. Do you consider podcasts lead magnets?
Podcasts are tough because I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop sharing because I can't see everybody and I can't see who's asking the question.
That was me, Diane.
I can't see you on the screen. 1 second. I'm gonna change my view. Now I can see you. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna go to gallery. Beautiful. Okay. I can only see the first 4 people at the top. I'm like, nobody's talking. Okay. So podcasts, I think, are a beautiful way to nurture. But in terms of the actual lead magnet itself, you're not actually capturing the people right then and there with the podcast, right? It's your ability to connect. It's your ability to build that know, like, and trust, but it's not it doesn't give you that direct ability to get people onto your email list. Now, in your show notes, you put your lead magnet and you can always encourage people to go and sign up. But until you get the lead physically on your list, I can't say I can't consider it a lead magnet, but that's what I would I would have something that draws them in, gets their email address, and then use the podcast, even in my nurture sequence, to say, if I know that here's one of their pain points, go check out this episode in my nurture sequence, because it'll really talks about this topic and it really breaks it down. So use that again to build that network and trust factor as you're selling them into the next thing, but not necessarily as the thing that gets them onto your email list. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Perfect. And I love podcasts. I love all like social media as an example. But again, you're putting out the content and you're using it as your ability to nurture and shake hands with everybody, but you're not necessarily kind of cementing a friendship until they actually go and make that exchange with you. Any other question? Everyone's quiet. Let's have a conversation. I'm like, let's talk. No pressure.
I think it's one of those, because, you get into this piece and everybody's like, okay, a lot to digest.
Yes.
And
I have the ability, the keen ability to do that to people.
I have a question. Sometimes, what do you feel about like a 1-page downloadable thing without all of the cover page and that kind of thing? What's the difference? We say, we're going to just do a 1-page, download this worksheet, and then those other things come in through the emails as a nurture sequence. What are your thoughts on that?
So I'm not opposed to it. My only worry with that, and if you were like, all I have time for is a checklist, and it's either that or we wait 3 months before I have the time to do the rest, I'm going to tell you to put the checklist out. 100% out there and like open to receiving emails is better than sitting in overwhelm and not doing anything, right? So I'm not against it. My worry would be, have we had enough? Because good marketing is an exercise in repetition. That's Donna Miller's quote, not mine. And without having the ability to educate a little bit within that, I feel like you're missing the opportunity to show up or show that content or show that value here and then reinforce it with the emails, right?
So I guess the question too is then is it better to put it in that downloadable workbook instead of putting it on your landing page? Like you had that landing page that was super simple, or would it be better to put it in like a longer landing page? Or both? Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Yeah, it does. If I had a choice, I would rather go simple on the opt-in page and a little bit more in the lead magnet, because the people are going to put their name in their email and then they're going to move on. The lead magnet is going to live with them for longer than the opt-in page would. So again, I'd rather go super simple on the opt-in page and allow myself the opportunity to educate a little bit further in the thing they're actually going to get. Also too, because at the end of the day, you're showing them, right, that you highly value the fact that they were willing to give you their email address. So I would rather, again, put more effort into the thing they're going to get that they just made the trade for, as opposed to putting the more effort before they actually even put the email address and then have the super simple thing at the front. And again, that doesn't mean you need, like, if you don't have a cover page, at minimum, I would say educate to whatever extent you feel you need to, give them the action piece and then the call to action. Always give them that like very clear, here's what I want you to do next. Here's why, so that you're increasing, again, the ability for them to go and do that next thing with you.
Okay. Love that. Thank you. Ingrid, go ahead.
Hi, I have a question. What do you think about the timing of the delivery of your opt-in if you're one big thing you're wanting to sell them later on is not yet ready? Do you want to still offer free opt-ins and then do email nurturing that's saying coming in July will be, how do you time that? Like I still want to gather and start creating an email list by giving out an opt-in, but my course is not yet ready.
Yes, so I would have my call to action on the lead. That's a great question, Ingrid. I would have my call to action in that case to have them get on the wait list. Let them put their hand up of like, oh yeah, I'm interested. I want to be the first to know. And I would also incentivize that, right? So whether it's an incentive, like whether you're incentivizing them of, the first 10 people that sign up when the course is launched are going to get blah, 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 so get on the wait list. Or whoever's on the wait list is going to get priority access or priority something. Like incentivize them putting their hand up for the wait list. Otherwise, you're going to get people that are going to be like, well, wait list is a wait list, and I'll see it when it comes out, and I have no reason to like further put my hand up at this point. So give them a reason to really like take that next step with you already. That would be what I would suggest. And then when, sorry, you can keep yourself off mute. When you're ready to actually launch the thing, that's when you're going to throw them in like your launch sequence, which will be like your series of 5 to 7 emails that go out day after day that sell them into the thing once it's ready to go.
Got it. Maybe a discount. Would that be something that you would offer as an incentive?
Yeah, it can be. So discounts can be tricky, right? Because when you're doing the discount from like a wait list perspective, and it's a good chunk amount of time before the actual thing happens, I'm not opposed to it, because the people that didn't sign up for the wait list aren't going to know about the discount anyway. Whereas when you do for the first like 3 days of the launch, they can get it for, I don't know, $4.97, and then it goes up to $9.97. From an alignment standpoint, and I can say this because I tried it and I felt it. I felt it really difficult to sell people on day 4 on paying the more expensive price when people just bought it for the, $4.97 the day before. Like I all of a sudden I wasn't as jazzed to sell it, and I kind of felt not so good about it to keep pushing people, knowing that yesterday people paid hundreds of dollars less. So given that only the people on the wait list would know, and you're incentivizing from an early enough standpoint, I think that can work. You can also do it where they get something extra. So maybe it's the course plus the people that are on the wait list. Maybe a strategy call might be too much, because depending how many you think you're going to sell, that might be too much time of yours taken. But you can also add an extra bonus that they're going to get if they join the wait list, or an extra downloadable thing that they get now for joining the wait list, if you don't want a discount. How does that feel? Good. Awesome. Perfect. Any other? Oh, there's things in the chat. Let me see. Is there a thing let me just back up and see if I didn't miss anything else. Okay. Is there a thing as too many pages? Is there an ideal? Not necessarily. I mean, depending on the content you're delivering, it may require 2 pages per piece of like actionable step or secret or mistake or however you're positioning that. So I'm going to say no. Knowing now, like if you send it to somebody who is at least your ideal client or somewhat close to your ideal client, right? And have them read through it, how long did it take? Did you feel like you were able to action on those things pretty quickly and get a gauge from them if they're like, woo, 10 minutes in, I was like, I still had, 15 pages to go and I felt really overwhelmed. Then you can look at that from a place of like, hey, can I kind of cut this back a little bit and really get a gauge from, again, someone who is your ideal client, or even a family member who you think would find the content interesting. And I think get your gauge from there. Also too, it's really easy for us as, quote unquote experts to feel like everything we say is easy for everybody. And I am 100% guilty of this because I do it all the time. Like, oh, it's easy, just do it. And people are like, I have no idea what you're talking about, right? So sending that to somebody who maybe doesn't necessarily know the ins and the outs of your industry, to be like, does this, like, are you tracking with this? Are you following with this? Am I speaking things that are completely overwhelming and there's too much here? Or do you feel like you were able to consume it relatively easily? Does that make sense, Taylor?
No, that's super helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're so welcome. Any other questions? I'm going to go back and see if I missed anything here. The last 2 thank you page must-haves. I'll pull that up for you. Too many things in my way. Here, okay. Those for what? For Chelsea. Can you see my screen? Yeah, okay, perfect.
Tasha, this has been so great. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
And ladies, know if you know, if we mentioned it, but Tasha is one of our affiliates. And so this is what she does. And she has templates that when we've done like landing pages, when I've taught you how to do landing pages, you'll notice I always go to her website and say, okay, now follow, like when we've been doing sales pages in the course and community, I take you there and I'm like, hey, look how she's got it built out, story branded. So Tasha, thank you. Can we give Tasha some love and just thank you so much. This was so, how many of you got something out of this today? That you got an idea or something to go just love that. I did. I know I was taking notes, and Diane and I, who teach some of this stuff, we're going back and forth like, oh,
Tanya.
So thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. If any of you guys have questions or any of you ladies have questions, email me anytime. Trisha knows you can just email me, ask me questions. I'm happy to answer. Or if you're on social and that ends up being your better way to talk, you can message us on there anytime. It's at Lady Boss Studio.
All right. Thank you so much.
Have a great day. Bye, ladies.